and we always tell them, well, they don't wash their jackets, they're smelly, they're not respectable. But there's one thing I learned from this gentleman. Every job is what we make it. You know, you will meet people that will talk to you nicely on borders, that will respect you, that will, will give the job the ultimate respect that it deserves. And then you'll meet people that will make it look like it's the worst thing that anyone can ever do. So I think it's just a matter of who is doing that job and how they are treating it and how much they value it. This man has been in the Boda industry for 23 whole years.
That's a lot of time.
I haven't been working for 23 years. You know, and this man tells you right from day one, being trustworthy, because people can trust you with their goods. They can trust you with their children. They can trust you with their lives when you're riding them. Many times you sit on a Boda guy, and as soon as you sit on it, you're like, I need to get off this one.
You start praying.
I don't think I'm going to get where we're going.
Right.
And then when you look at him, they call him number 6. Meanwhile, I'll give you the details on why they call him number 6. But he's a man that when you look at him, he really values his job. He had a very nice, his shoe was cleaner than my shoe.
Wow.
He was all tucked in, you know, he had a nice shirt on, and you could tell that this is a person that values his job. So I'm thinking it doesn't really matter what it is that you do. There is a gentleman that I used to meet on my way to work in Chambogo, sweeps the road every single morning with a lot of dust, but you could tell that he valued his job and respected himself at his job. So it doesn't matter what job you're doing, give the job value, respect it, and other people will value you, they'll value your job, and they respect you. And that's the one thing I picked up.
I totally agree with you, because from just watching that interaction that you had with him, they always say a huge percentage of your communication is the nonverbal. Yeah. His nonverbal spoke of a person who loved what he was doing, who respected, like you said, what he was doing, who, you know, relies on it to actually, you know, feed his family. It is his bread and butter. And I've just picked up some of these things, given that he's been in the industry for 23. Guys, 23 years, that's a long time to be in the same
industry.
Same industry.
The same job.
Day in, day out.
Yep.
Same timings. Resilience, persistence, patience as well comes into play. And that's why he has a name for himself, and people call him number 6.
Yeah.
You're getting my point. So I think for me, what I've learned from that, and this can be applied in any type of business, even in careers, just respect your job. It doesn't matter if the conditions are not so suitable. Being a Boda rider ain't easy.
No, not at all. Not at all.
We always have these conversations with these riders, and they say it is totally hard. You
have to go under the sun every single day. Weather changes, rain comes, the sun will hit you, the dust. Then there's these, you know, the riders, and then remember there's a group of people that are spoiling your job on a daily basis. These are the people that come into the industry, the Boda industry, and want to earn so fast. And they're ruining your job, yet you're doing every single thing that you can to see that your job is, you know, your job. It's your one thing. This man has 3 sets of twins.
Whoa.
Has 3 sets of twins, and those are not only the only children he has. His firstborn is at university first year. Imagine, guys, the university first year, 3 sets of twins. Do you know how taking care of just 2 children is a hassle?
How many months are those? 6.
The months?
3 sets of twins.
3 sets of twins.
Plus, I'm sure he takes care of other people.
He has other children
in the family as well.
This is it. It was a really interesting conversation to have with him, and to sit on his Boda at the same time was another thing, because you know, you'd think this is a man that has been in the industry for 23 years. Maybe he's run out of interest or something like. Nope. You'll sit on his Boda, he'll give you attention. His ride was so smooth. As like, we need to value our jobs a lot more.
What I pick from him is patience, number 1, because the conditions will never be favorable.
He did mention that as well. He did mention that as well. That the biggest problem that they have in the Boda industry today is because people come in and they want to earn so fast.
Overnight.
And they want to get to, you know, places that, you know, it has taken people 10, 15 years to get to. They want to do that in 5 years. And I think it is what is happening in every... Last week we were talking about corporate prostitution, and this is exactly why people are involved in, you know, things like that. They want to get rich so fast and, you know, get to places where it has taken people 15, 20 years to get to in just 5 years or a year. So there's patience is a big part of it.
Yeah, patience, perseverance, and trying to amend your art every single day. Try and be new every single day. For example, I'm sure for him, like he was saying, you have to try and see, what can I do differently today for my clients? What can I offer that is new that my counterparts are actually not offering? So at the end of the day, I'd give him a 10 over 10 in terms of him just being an entrepreneur, surviving that particular industry for 23 years and being proud that he's actually taken his child to university thanks to
the Boda.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
So congratulations to you, Tata, and we do respect you. I hope we've learned quite a lot from that particular story.
Yes, and we also ask you to share your thoughts on Boda riders. Have you taken a Boda ride? Are you planning on taking one? Do you respect them? Do you think they deserve your respect? That is also another conversation. So you come through on our social media platforms and let's talk Bodas this morning. What your thoughts are on Bodas, and if you could even think of ever joining the Boda industry as well. Right now, let's switch over to Mala so that she can give us an update on what's happening in the business world. In case you've just joined us, it is morning at NTV. Good morning.
Right. Thank you so much, David Rukasi, for that particular update. And still sticking to business, of course, from the Boda rider who has been in it for 23 years. That's a long time. That's a long time to be in that particular industry. Let's move into business and just let's tell you what you should be expecting in the world of business. Now, as you can see on the screens now, MTN has a new move right there. And so they've been grappling with the government to actually renew its license from August last year. And so as you can see on that particular picture, now MTN yes, says that we want, now this is based on government. MTN has been pushing to have its license renewed. Now from last year around August thereabout, the government has been renewing its license partially. And so the government has come out to say that, you know what, we've been doing this because we want a win-win situation for both the country and this particular investors in the country right here. And we're talking about MTN. Of course, this is following what we saw last year. Beg your pardon, this is following what you saw last week. Number one, we saw the president coming out to say that, you know what, all multinationals, yes, this is a story that I'm sure you saw, all multinationals must sell their shares to Ugandans so we can mitigate the issue of capital flight. So this is not just with regards to MTN, but experts have come out to say that, you know what, it's not just MTN, but every single multinational needs to open up its companies for them to sell out their shares to the common Ugandans, for us all to be part and parcel of this particular profits that this kind of companies get. And of course there you can see Mr. Charles Mbire, the MTN Uganda chairperson. MTN has been dominating the business headlines. Of course, even last week we also saw another development right there of some of its top kind of employees being deported back to their country. So be sure to grab those details. You can find them in the e-paper and also on the e-website of a Daily Monitor. Now, moving on to EABL, and of course this is the East African Breweries Limited, and so they are actually making money. 2018 was quite a turbulent, kind of year for most businesses. Of course, most of them cried foul that, you know what, we didn't make profits. Business was hard. We really, sunk in a lot of money and made losses at the same time. But the story is totally different for EABL now. They have recorded a 242 1.2 billion shillings profit after tax, guys. Yes. Now, this, of course, they attribute to the great, kind of innovations that they were able to embrace as a company. And they are saying that, what, we have innovations, and of course, this is in the spirit sector that has been doing well. And of course, you, the drinker of Uganda Waraji, you're the people who have made it possible for them to get a lot of profits. Of course, this based on the numbers that they got on December 31st of 2018, and this has been published just, of course, a few days ago. And so that is what they've been able to get. 242 is no mean feat. Billion Uganda shillings. This is profit after tax. Now, we all know that UABL has quite a number of products right there. There's Uganda Waraji. My screen is failing me. Let's see that. Of course, we have Uganda Waraji. We also have quite a number of products that you love. And so thanks to you, they've been able to make this particular profits. Moving on, let's look at our oil. Yeah, we've been having this conversation around 2018. The conversation has been on how fast can we ensure that we realize the dream of us producing oil as a country. And so we all know that we're going to be having this particular oil pipeline. Of course, it's going to be a relationship between Tanzania and Uganda. And so the Uganda-Tanzania ministers are set to meet today, of course, and this is over the oil pipeline. Of course, now we know that this pipeline is going to be in partnership with quite a number of partners who are coming on board. We have Total E&P, we have Nook, we also have Tallow Oil that are coming to make sure that this becomes a reality. And so we all know that the cost that is going to be sunk into this particular project for it to actually come to fruition is not a small number. We're talking about 13 trillion Uganda shillings, and that's about 3.5 billion US dollars. Of course, that's a story that you're still following up to see how this can be expedited so we realize this particular profits into our economy. Of course, the conversation last year was on how we as Ugandans can actually be involved directly in this particular oil exploration that is happening in this country. So it's a story that you're still following through, and of course, be sure to grab all the details in your e-paper and also in the Daily Monitor. All that has been detailed for you. At this point, we take a short commercial break, but don't go too far.
You're watching Morning at NTV.
Do your gums hurt?
Yeah.
Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile?
All that in one toothpaste?
Yes, try Colgate Herbal.